Good afternoon, everyone. This is a special meeting of the Community and Protective Services Committee. It's our 11th meeting. The City of London is situated on the traditional lands of the Nishnawbek, Haudenosaunee, Lenape, and Attawandaron. We honor and respect the history, languages, and culture of the diverse Indigenous people who call this territory home. The City of London is currently home to many First Nation, Métis, and Inuit today. As representatives of the people of the City of London, we are grateful to have the opportunity to work and live in this territory. I will ask, I believe we have Councillor Stevenson and Councillor Rahman joining us virtually. I will ask you to put on your screens for a moment, just so we can verify that you are here with us for quorum. Perfect, thank you. For your information, I have Councillor Ferreira and Councillor Pribble joining me in chambers today, so we do have quorum and we are verified. The City of London is committed to making every effort to provide alternate formats and communication supports for meetings upon request. To make a request specific to this meeting, please contact cpsc@london.ca or 519-661-2489, extension 2425. I'm looking to committee for disclosures of pecuniary interest. Seeing none, we have no consent items, no scheduled items. We have one item under items for direction, being 4.1, Building Safer Community Funds, Multi-Year Contribution Agreement. I'm going to go to staff first for a brief overview, recognizing it's a special meeting and an exciting report before us. Ms. Smith.
Thank you, and through the chair, before you today is our second report seeking council's approval to enter into agreement with the federal government in order to flow the second allotment of funding, which is approximately $3 million to London. This is part of the federal's Building Safer Communities funds. The report also provides you an overview of the needs assessment and engagement undertaken with community organizations and young people, and an overview of the proposed multi-year strategy and plan that was developed based on this engagement. Thank you for allowing us to hold this special meeting today, as our current agreement with the federal government expires on June 30th, 2023. So in order to receive the next installment of funding, the government requires we enter into a signed agreement and submitted to the government by June 30th, 2023. Hence the urgency of this matter. I have staff here if you have any further questions on the report itself. Thank you.
Thank you, and as already stated, thank you for committee making this meeting possible, realizing we will deal with this item today and it will go to council on the 27th for final approval in advance of the federal government's deadline to receive any funds. Opening up, I guess, looking for a mover and a seconder, and then I'll do speakers. Moved by Councillor Ferreira, seconded by Councillor Pribble. Starting a speakers list of anyone who would like to make comments. Councillor Ferreira.
Thank you, and through you to, I guess, Ms. Smith and your team. I was wondering if you could expand on some of the initiatives that the Building Safer Communities Fund would move along.
Ms. Smith and team.
Sure, thank you, and through the chair. So I'm going to have the staff give you a few more details on this and an overview. As you know, this is a grant funding agreement. So the purpose of this, we went out and did a community engagement and a need assessment to hear the priorities. We then had to align the priorities with the overall outcomes of the federal program. And then what we did through intense engagement is understand what are the priorities right now in London that align with the purpose of this fund. And so we will then go out through a grant and application process and seek organizations to implement projects and programs that align with the grant priorities. So I'll turn it over to Ms. Pollack to explain some of those priorities.
Thank you, and through the chair. So there's two key activities that are included within the submission. One is a grant program. So the purpose of this grant program is to get the funding into the community where it's needed. And so as Ms. Smith mentioned, we will be doing a full call for proposals based off of the engagement that we've already undertaken. And in addition, given that this is one-time funding, there's another activity that we submitted related to training, coaching, and capacity capacity building. So this funding will go directly to the organizations that are in receipt of funding for support with evaluation, for support with anti-racism and anti-oppression training, as well as help with implementing programs. So the purpose here is to help build some sustainability and capacity within the community. Thank you.
Counselor Ferreira, follow-up?
Through you, thank you for that. That's all.
Thank you. Counselor Pribble.
Good morning, through the chair to the staff. I do have a few questions. If we can go please to page 15. I mean, it says eligible expenses for fiscal year. The expenses categories, was that done by us or was that given to us by Public Safety Canada?
To staff?
Thank you, and through you, Chair, that's a good question. These are Public Safety Canada funding lines that we had to fill in the amounts for.
Counselor Pribble?
Categories then are by Canada and us, we did include the amounts there. How do you think?
Staff?
Through the chair, that is correct. These are their expense categories. We don't have any flexibility on those. And then we had to estimate what percentages of our overall allotment for each year would be in each of those categories.
Counselor?
So now when the grants are going to come in, how about if they don't fit into these categories? So do we have a room to shuffle it around? Because I, for example, saw the consulting 100,000, 100,000, 50,000, which again, I would think that certainly maybe for the first year, but for second year and third year consulting in these, so do we have a flexibility and can we adjust it as the grants come in?
Ms. Smith and team?
Thank you for the question, and through the chair. Yes, there is some room to amend, less than 20%. We're able to do an administrative amendment with Public Safety Canada. Otherwise, we can do a full amended agreement if necessary. Thank you.
Counselor Pribble, a follow-up?
Okay, thank you for that. Yes, I do. And when I look at page 6, the proposal grants will start September 23rd. And they're going to actually start January 24th, January 2024. And if I look at the first allotment of the $1 million, it's until March 24th, which will gives us only 3 months. Are we obligated to spend the $1 million in the first 3 months, or can we carry it on over?
Thank you, and through the chair, that deadline is for us to allocate funds to the community, not specifically for the community to spend. So as long as those funds are allocated from the City of London to the community organizations, it's considered spent to the federal government.
Perfect, thank you very much. And last question on page 10, it says 5.2 that for fiscal year 22-23 was 309,000. Did we take advantage of it? Did we allocate that amount?
Ms. Popalik?
Thank you, and through the chair, yes, we were able to allocate almost all of that funding. We allocated roughly $277,000. There was a $30,000 variance. Thank you.
A follow-up, Counselor Pribble?
Oh, no more follow-up questions. Thank you very much for all the answers.
Thank you. Looking online to see if Counselor Stevenson or Counselor Rahman would like to make comment, as I have exhausted my speakers list within chambers. Okay, seeing none, it's been moved and seconded. Speakers list has concluded. Calling the question in eScribe.
I will vote yes.
Closing the vote, the motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Looking to committee to see if there's any deferred matters or additional business, as I've not been made aware of any. Seeing none from chambers, nothing online. That moves us to adjournment. So looking for a motion to adjourn. Moved by Counselor Pribble, seconded by Counselor Ferreira. A hand vote or a verbal vote of all those in favor of adjournment.
I vote yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you again to staff and committee for making this special meeting possible to meet government deadlines, and I wish you all a wonderful day.